Welcome back to a Clan a Day podcast brought to you by bagtownclans.com. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald. Today we explore the rich and complex history of Clan Morrison, or Chlann Mhic-Ghille-Mhuire, a name meaning Devotee of St Mary. Unlike many other Scottish clans, the Morrisons' origins are diverse, with branches spread across the Highlands, Hebrides and beyond. Yet, their story is one of loyalty, conflict, and survival in the harsh landscapes of northern Scotland. The story of Clan Morrison begins on the Isle of Lewis, where the Hebridean Morrisons trace their roots to Scandinavian settlers. According to legend, the clan descends from a natural son of the King of Norway, shipwrecked on the shores of Lewis. This figure became the ancestor of the clan, which grew to hold power in the Western Isles. But this romantic origin is just one facet of the Morrison name, for there are multiple Morrison lineages in Scotland, each with its own unique background and history. The Morrison clan of Lewis is perhaps the most famous. They held the hereditary office of Breve, or Judge, a prestigious position under the MacLeods of Lewis. The Breves were responsible for resolving disputes and administering justice on the island. The earliest recorded Morrison Ustian, or Hugh, lived during the 16th century and served as the Breve of Lewis. However, his position and the clan's prominence were jeopardised when he betrayed Torquil du MacLeod, a powerful leader, to the Mackenzies, who ultimately beheaded MacLeod. This act of treachery set in motion a series of events that would force the Morrisons to flee their ancestral lands. After losing their position as Breves in 1613, the Morrisons sought refuge on the mainland, with many settling in the Durness area of Sutherland, where they became allies of Clan Mackay. This migration is likely the reason for the strong similarities between the Morrison and Mackay tartans, with both featuring bold patterns of red and green. Though they were displaced from Lewis, the Morrisons maintained their influence, forging new alliances and continuing to play a key role in the politics of northern Scotland. But the Morrisons of Lewis were not the only branch of the clan. In Harris, another group of Morrisons emerged, this time descended from the Mhic-Ghille-Mhuire family of bards who had come from Ireland and settled on the Isle of Harris around the year 1600. This group served the MacLeods of Harris and Dunvegan as poets and scholars, further contributing to the cultural fabric of the Hebrides. While the Hebridean Morrisons are perhaps the most well known, they are not the only Morrisons in Scotland. In fact, there is no single unified Clan Morrison. The name Morrison itself is believed to be of Anglo-Norman origin, deriving from son of Maurice or son of Morris. This patronymic naming tradition, along with variations such as Morrison, Mirison and Murison, can be found throughout Scotland, particularly in the northeast, where families like the Morrisons of Bogney in Aberdeenshire held significant estates. The Bogney Morrisons, who were unrelated to the Hebridean branch, are a prime example of the diversity within the Morrison name. This family acquired the Bogney estate in the 17th century and remained prominent landholders for generations. The Morrisons of Bogney even have a connection to the British royal family, as they count Lady Diana Spencer, Princess of Wales, among their descendants. Clan Morrison's heraldry reflects this multifaceted history. The clan's crest, featuring three Saracen heads conjoined in one neck, symbolises their ancient heritage and warrior spirit. This symbol appears on the arms of various Morrison families, including those of Bogney, Preston Grange and Darcy. The clan's motto, Pretio Prudentia Praestat, prudence is more valuable than wealth, speaks to the enduring wisdom and resilience that has allowed the Morrisons to thrive through centuries of upheaval. In 1965, a significant moment in the history of Clan Morrison occurred when the Lord Lion King of Arms recognised Dr. John Morrison of Rushdie as the chief of the entire clan. Though his lineage could not be directly traced to the Hebridean Breves of Lewis, Dr. Morrison was named chief due to his descent from the Morrisons of Pabay in Harris. Today, the chiefship of Clan Morrison continues under his descendants, with the current chief, R. Alastair Morrison, having taken up the mantle in 2020. The Morrisons, despite their complex and varied origins, share a common thread, a history of resilience and adaptation. Whether as Hebridean Breves, Irish bards, or lowland landowners, the Morrisons have left an indelible mark on Scottish history. Their contributions to literature, law, and politics are numerous, and their story continues to inspire those who seek to connect with their Scottish heritage. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the fascinating history of Clan Morrison. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of a Clan a Day podcast. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald, and as always, go Neri and Botherleet. May the road rise to meet you.